Greetings, survivor. Glad you're still alive. Earlier today, I found a diary of a guy who is unfortunately no longer with us. But I hope with this story his effort will not be forgotten. I've decided to record his story on this tape to be a reminder that even in a cruel world like this, there are still reasons to hang on. And honestly, I'm doing it more to keep myself sane rather than anything else. I hope it will have the same effect on you. So open a can of whatever you have around, get yourself a drink, and get comfy. This is the story of Fernando Flanders. He was a great man and one hell of a fighter. When I found him, I'd counted at least a dozen dead zombies in that area. He definitely gave them hell before they got to him. He turned 23 years old in May this year, has never been married, had no kids. Before the shit started, Frank used to work as a carpenter. He traveled a bunch, moving from site to site, but this place was different. He was looking for this cute blonde girl named Annette, who used to work at the diner on North Main Street. From what I understood, he met her a few years ago and couldn't get her out of his head ever since. The day it began started with a regular Thursday. Fern stayed up late the night prior watching action films. He would have probably slept till the afternoon if not for the blinding sun beaming through the window. That day he was planning to offer his skills at the construction site 2 blocks away, so he decided to tough it out and stay awake. Having no luck finding a quick morning snack in his drawers and half-empty fridge, he regretted finishing the last 2 bags of chips during the movie night. He decided to go outside to get a breath of fresh air. Stepping out of the house, he was met by a fresh piney breeze from the forest. He was walking towards his yard when he spotted a weirdly crooked woman on the street. He decided to come closer and ask if she needed help. Getting a closer look, he noticed that her clothes were all torn and dirty and her skin was morbidly pale. When she dropped over his fence, Fern realized that the lady had no good intentions for him. He pushed her away, ripping a piece of her cold skin in the process, and took off. Sprinting back to his trailer, he took a glance behind, noticing that the woman was still onto him with that creepy look on her face. He started searching through the drawers to find at least something to defend himself with, but it was too late. Having no other option, he ran outside, pushed her to the ground and stomped until there was no more movement under his feet. Being a big movie guy, he realized immediately what was happening outside. He ran back in to catch a breath and went through his drawers one more time. Unfortunately, there was absolutely nothing of use. He knew that without a weapon, he wouldn't last long, so he decided to try his luck elsewhere. He went outside to make sure there was no one else approaching. There were at least 4 infected standing further down the street, but they haven't seemed to notice Fernando. He decided to sneak towards the neighboring trailer and see if he could find at least some kind of a weapon. He reached the trailer undetected. The door was locked, but luckily his neighbors missed the kitchen window. Being an agile guy, Fern slipped through easily without making any noise. Breaching into someone else's house felt wrong, but morality was far from the top of his priorities. He shook this feeling off and went on to search through the kitchen. He managed to find a paring knife. It was nothing great, but it definitely had its advantages over his bare hands. He grabbed a bit of food he found and took a drink from the milk carton that was in the fridge. A quick look through the rest of the trailer did not reward him with anything useful, so he decided to get going. He wanted to take a peek into the next trailer, but a few zombies that spotted him from the road forced him to change his plans. Being afraid that he won't be able to handle multiple zombies with such a lousy weapon, Fern decided to run away. He ran straight to the woods behind his house, trying not to attract any extra attention. When he reached the woods and had himself hidden from the plain view, he saw that they were already near his home, so coming back was off the list. Since there were too many zombies in the city, the best course of action would be to leave and lay low somewhere out in the farms. His car was parked near the unfinished commercial building across the main road, so that was his next destination. When he finally crossed the woods and had the main road right in front of his eyes, there was only one obstacle in his way. To avoid extra risk, he decided to sneak behind the zombie's back. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. His undead neighbors spotted him. One of them jumped right through the window, alerting every nearby zombie about a warm treat wandering by. Fernando panicked. His legs were fumbling when he tried to escape, but he managed to get himself together and went flying to his car. He quickly jumped in, grabbed his keys from the glove box and started the car. It was a small city with almost no criminal activity, so leaving a car open with the keys inside was quite common around here. But taking the circumstances, it was quite lucky no one else took his car in an attempt to leave the swarming city. Even though he wasn't out of danger just yet, being in the car felt very soothing. If only he had known the scale of his troubles. About an hour away from the city, the number of zombies around dropped significantly. On the road, the time flew by quickly. If the sun hadn't shifted, Fernando would have had no idea that it was already far past noon. He decided to explore the farmhouses around. Driving by, he spotted a big open garage. It seemed like a perfect place to find something more reliable than his tiny knife. Up close, it looked very promising. He ran over the couple guarding the entrance and went in to unveil the spoils of his discovery. At first, it seemed like there were only 2 zombies near the garage. However, it appears rural people keep their sharp ears even after death. Within seconds, they started rallying from all around the area, drawn by the car noise. Fernando tried to stand his ground, but this plan quickly went out the window when more and more of them started dropping inside. Having no interest in giving up his freshly found riches, Fernando came up with an idea to lure them away from the garage and sneak back in on foot. He slowly drove away, letting all of them time to keep up. The plan worked marvelously. Having taken some distance, Fernando parked the car and walked back to his treasure, following the tree line by the edge of the field. On his way, he saw a car parked near the house. Fern wanted to see if it had a decent replacement battery. His plans got interrupted by a group of zombies standing by the house. One of them took a particular interest in Fernando and followed him into the tree line. Hidden from the rest of the group, Fernando took care of the straggler. It took Fern quite a few swings to finish him off. The knife was probably from one of those cheap Chinese knife sets, so it was already dull as dirt after a few uses. Seeing none of his dead bodies were onto him, Fern went back to his path down the tree line. Arriving at the garage, he took a good look around to make sure there was nobody lurking. He reached the entrance. There was only one stray zombie inside, staring at the window. Fernando slowly walked closer. He tried to take a swing from behind, eliminating him in one precise hit. The zombie heard him. After he finally fell, Fern slipped on the bloody floor and broke the window. Luckily, not a scratch. He started searching through the tool cabinet when a zombie crawled in. Fernando tried to get away, but his boots were so slippery. There was no escape.